Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Ringside Wrestling Entertainment. This is Joel Perez here, back at it again for your final review of the Mae Young Classic. It was the Mae Young Classic finale here tonight after Smackdown Live. Sin City Smackdown here tonight. They were in Las Vegas for the final edition of the Mae Young Classic, and it was the finale here tonight. It was Kairi Sane versus Shayna Baszler in the Mae Young Classic tournament, and they were fighting over that trophy, of course symbolizing the iconic Mae Young. And it was very good here tonight. Very, very good match here tonight. Nice presentation. Could have been better. Could have been better. We're going to talk about that nice presentation here tonight and a very good matchup. And we do have a winner of the Mae Young Classic. Spoilers, if you did not watch it yet. But it is Kairi Sane. Kairi Sane is the inaugural winner of the Mae Young Classic. And we're going to talk about that very shortly. We're going to talk about the matchup between Shayna Baszler versus Kairi Sane. Very good matchup here tonight, but we're going to talk about that very shortly. We're going to talk about the presentation first. It was a nice presentation. A lot of filler, though. A lot of just going to people in the crowd, backstage interviews, stuff like that before we actually got to the matchup. It was only a 30-minute presentation. The way I would have done it, you would have had it live in front of the Full Sail crowd, which would have been a lot better. The Full Sail crowd, a lot more lively. Yes, I understand Las Vegas was a good crowd here tonight. There's no denying that. They were a good crowd here tonight. But after going through a 2-hour edition of Smackdown, where you're dealing with U.S. Championship matches, Women's Championship matches, Tag Team Championship matches, on a special edition of Smackdown Live, you're going to be burnt out. And they were a very good crowd here tonight for Smackdown Live. They were a little more burnt out for the Mae Young Classic, especially when not everybody in the crowd is familiar with the women. It's not going to be as lively as it could have been. So what I would have done was I would have waited till tomorrow, September 13th, have it go down on Wednesday after NXT, that 9 o'clock slot, have it go on for an hour, and maybe throw on another match in there and have it going for an hour. Maybe highlight something going on in NXT. Ruby Riott, I know, on NXT television right now, has been dealing with the iconic duo, Peyton Royce and Billie Kay. Maybe you have a matchup like that, the tag team matchup, on the Mae Young Classic finale. But I felt there was a lot of precautions that could have been taken to make this a better presentation. The commentary live was a little more, lively, you can say, between Jim Ross and Lita. It was the final, so they did kind of ants it up a little bit. Still not the best commentary. Still a very odd commentating duo, but it was better than what we've seen in the recorded episodes of the Mae Young Classic. And it was a nice Las Vegas crowd, but it would have been better. You really cannot get better as far as a crowd goes than Full Sail University. They do a fantastic job for NXT. They did a fantastic job for the Cruiserweight Classic, and they did a very good job as well for the Mae Young Classic. And I felt like it would have been even better if they would have been the crowd for the finale, but they gave these women the bigger stage after SmackDown Live, the SmackDown Live set, all that good stuff. So, I mean, it was what it was, and there's really no complaining about it. But I felt it would have been come off a lot better if they would have put this show in front of the Full Sail Arena. But as far as the Mae Young Classic goes, reviews to all of the episodes of the Mae Young Classic are up on the Ringside Wrestling YouTube channel. 1, 2, 3, and 4. It's all 2 episodes per review. So there's 4 reviews up right now, this being the 5th for the finale of the Mae Young Classic. So episodes 1 and 2, 3 and 4, they all have their reviews. That's the entirety of round 1. Episodes 5 and 6, that's the entirety of round 2. Episodes 7 and 8, quarterfinals and semifinals. Reviews to those presentations right there, to those episodes of the Mae Classic up on the Ringside Wrestling YouTube channel for your viewing pleasure. So make sure to go check that out if you missed any of those reviews as well. Make sure to go check out the Raw and Smackdown reviews that are uploaded on the Ringside Wrestling YouTube channel for this week. Raw review uploaded last night. We're talking about John Cena, Roman Reigns versus Jason Jordan, John Cena versus Braun Strowman, and Braun Strowman destroying John Cena and Brock Lesnar in the same night. So make sure to go check out the Raw review, and clearly the SmackDown review. SmackDown Live went off the air very shortly ago. Right after I got my review up, I started working right here on the Mae Young Classic review, and the SmackDown Live review just went up. So make sure to go check that out. Kevin Owens attacking Vince McMahon, U.S. title matches, women's title matches, tag team title matches, a special edition of SmackDown Live, Sin City SmackDown. So make sure to go check that out. If you enjoy what you hear here on the Ringside Wrestling YouTube channel, to not miss a thing, make sure to subscribe to the Ringside Wrestling YouTube channel. Everything covering the WWE right here on the Ringside Wrestling YouTube channel. So make sure to subscribe, click that notification bell so you don't miss a thing and you get those notifications straight to your mobile device. And like this video if you enjoy what you're hearing here, and comment what you thought. If you did watch it, of course, make sure to comment what you thought of the finale of the Mae Young Classic. But for now, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go straight into talking about the meat itself, the substance, that being the matchup between Kairi Sane and Shayna Baszler. Let's talk about it. Kairi Sane versus Shayna Baszler. This was a very, very nice matchup. What we seen here tonight versus Kairi Sane and Shayna Baszler. Now, this was not the best matchup in the tournament. The best matchup in the tournament overall, I would have to say myself, was Kairi Sane versus Bianca Belair. And Bianca Belair was very interesting with her because she only had 1 year of experience. So I was coming into this matchup very optimistic about Shayna Baszler, who clearly still is very green. It was not as good as a matchup, but the physicality, the excitement, the matchup was still very good in its own right. I enjoyed this matchup a lot. Shayna Baszler versus Kairi Sane. It did have me at the edge of my seat at moments, and it got the job done as far as a final matchup for the Mae Young Classic goes. The stakes were there, with Shayna Baszler clearly being the most dominant woman in this tournament, and Kairi Sane being the little underdog. She's small in stature, she's small in size, but she's big in heart, and she's going to fight her way through this tournament, whether by hook or by crook, and that is exactly what was told, the story that was told in this matchup from the beginning, and it was very nice. It was very nice here. Shayna refused the handshake in the beginning of this matchup. Baszler clearly was going to dominate the most of this matchup, and that's exactly what she did, outpowering Kairi Sane. They would lock up in a collar and elbow tie-up. Shayna Baszler absolutely twisted the body of Kairi Sane, where she was in a bridge position, which looked very, very cool. There was a point where Kairi tried to go for a spear at one point. Shayna Baszler just stopped it in its tracks, didn't even allow it to happen. Just absolutely stopped Kairi Sane. Hit a series of gut-wrench suplexes here. Kairi, though, continued to fight, continued to fucking just persevere, and the resilience was there in Kairi Sane. The story that allowed Kairi Sane to persevere in this matchup was told through the ribs of Shayna Baszler. They were playing up the ribs of Shayna Baszler being injured in this matchup. Now, I didn't really understand that. I'm sitting here like, where in this matchup did something catastrophic happen to the ribs of Shayna Baszler? Where in this tournament did something catastrophic happen to the ribs of Shayna Baszler? I was sitting here saying, I don't know. I don't fucking know. but they just randomly started playing up the fact that the ribs of Shayna Baszler were injured. And that is a lot of what allowed Kairi Sane to persevere and escape Shayna Baszler in this matchup, because there was a point in this matchup where Shayna was able to catch Kairi, who was coming off the top rope, and that's one of the things I love about Shayna Baszler, the way she's able to capture you into that rear naked choke from any position. That's one of the things I mentioned before that I loved about Shayna Baszler in this tournament. She did exactly that to Kairi Sane in this matchup. Kairi Sane, I believe, was going for the elbow off the top. Baszler rolls her in to the rear naked choke. I'm like, holy shit, this is where I was at the edge of my seat. I'm like, is Kairi gonna tap? Because both of these women were legitimate, and that's what I liked a lot about this main event as well, that both of these women had a legitimate chance of winning. Shayna Baszler, clearly in ties with Ronda Rousey, being the most dominant women in this tournament. I could see her just storming through Kairi Sane in this matchup. Kairi Sane being the cute, being the marketable one in this tournament, being the most well-liked coming into this tournament. Coming into this tournament, the one name that I heard the most was Kairi Sane. And in this, at this point, it's just like, who's gonna win here? I was sitting here just not knowing who was gonna win, and Shayna Baszler locks in that rear naked choke, and I'm like, holy shit, it could be over right here. Kairi Sane manages to fight out of it through hitting the ribs of Shayna Baszler, and she fucking followed that up. Remember that backhand slap she hit fucking Bianca Belair with in the second round? Holy shit, she did the same thing to Shayna Baszler, and both women found themselves fighting atop the top rope, where Shayna, she got caught by Kairi Sane in the Tree of Woe. Sane hit the double stomp, forearm in the corner, and she hits the insane elbow to win the matchup and become the inaugural winner of the Mae Young Classic. After the matchup, Shayna Baszler, who's selling that rib injury, she fucking hugs Kairi Sane like you've seen in the picture before. Kairi Sane was gifted flowers. They brought their trophy into the ring. Triple H came in. Sarah Amato came in. Stephanie McMahon came in, and they all lifted the hand of Mrs. Kairi Sane, who is now the inaugural winner of the Mae Young Classic. And I am glad I waited a little bit to do this review, because I can now confirm to you that Kairi Sane is going to be challenging for the NXT Women's Championship, the vacated NXT Women's Championship that Asuka vacated at NXT TakeOver Houston, against whoever they decide on NXT television to go against Kairi Sane. So that is what the Mae Young Classic won her. The trophy, clearly the title, and the number one contendership for that vacated NXT Women's Championship against one of these women who's been fighting diligently on NXT television already, Ember Moon. Ember Moon clearly there. And I'm just salivating at the thought of an Ember Moon Kairi Sane match. Holy shit. That sounds absolutely phenomenal, bro. Absolutely phenomenal. Kairi Sane, as far as work rate goes, probably one of the best in this entire tournament. She put on the best matches in this tournament by far, if you ask me. And Shayna Baszler, to be honest, is the close second here. The close second, putting on some of the good matches along in this tournament as well. But Kairi Sane has now earned herself a spot in the number one contendership for the NXT Women's Championship, and she will be challenging for that at NXT TakeOver Houston. So that is the case with that one, and whoever they do decide to go with, I believe they're going to have like a battle royal, maybe a mini tournament to determine who else is going to contest for that NXT Women's Championship on NXT television over the next few months going into Houston. I think if it's Ember Moon, bro, that could be a phenomenal matchup. And it's going to be like, who's going to be the face of NXT going forward? Because I can very well see it being Kairi Sane. Same time, I can very well see it being Ember Moon, who really, and Asuka's leaving of NXT was the only person besides Triple H and of course those folks that was able to go up into the ring with Asuka and really go face to face with her. The only woman who really put up a fight with Asuka. So I believe if you do that matchup, that's going to be absolutely fantastic. And Ember Moon versus Kairi Sane is the way to go into NXT TakeOver Houston. And you could possibly have yourself a match of the year contesting with what Ember Moon and Asuka did at NXT TakeOver Brooklyn 3, which is crazy to think that so soon we can already have another women's matchup contesting to be match of the year, match of the fucking generation. Holy shit, these women are so fucking good. Kairi Sane wins the Mae Young Classic, going into NXT TakeOver Houston as one of the women fighting for the vacated NXT Women's Championship. Does she win the championship? I don't know. At this point, my mentality is she's made it this far, so I say she wins the championship, becomes face of NXT. Really, that's the implications behind this matchup. Who's taking Asuka's place? Who is taking Asuka's place? And I have no doubt in my mind that Ember Moon will be the other half of that matchup. Really don't see anybody else on NXT television who's going to go into a matchup against Kairi Sane besides Ember Moon, who's really up there and built up for that. So that is my mindset coming out of this. But for now, ladies and gentlemen, let's move on to the closing segments. Let's move on to the closing segments here. The Mae Young Classic, I consider a very, very good success. Now you got that NXT Women's Division. You're going to be fucking flooded with women's talents. Now you got talents like Toni Storm, Mercedes Martinez, Abby Lath, Piper Niven. I mean, all these great talents. Rhea Ripley. All these great women's talents. Bianca Belair. Ooh. Bianca Belair, Santana Garrett. All these women's talents, more established. Some of them already in the NXT Women's Division, like Tessa Blanchard, one of them. Another one, what do you call her? The Ellering's daughter girl. Like, these women, yeah, they are fucking in NXT already, but now they're more established because of this Mae Young Classic, and you've got this new influx of women who are really going to make things very exciting in the NXT Women's Division. Piper Niven being one of my favorite, clearly. She's so fucking fantastic. Shayna Baszler in there as well. So now you got this influx of talent going in. You're going to be able to call up a lot of the women who are currently in NXT. You're going to be able to call up the Billie Kays and the Peyton Royce. Maybe you're going to be able to call up a Ruby Riott. I would keep Ruby Riott down there, to be quite honest with you. But you're probably going to be able to call her up a lot sooner than you originally would have. This Mae Young Classic is going to replenish the WWE, and it's going to directly feed up to the main roster, and women's wrestling is only going to get better in the WWE, and if you ask me, that sounds absolutely fantastic. So, from the jump, this was always going to be a success, clearly being handled by Triple H and William Regal and all these guys. It was going to be handled with delicate care, and it was going to be put together beautifully, just like NXT is by Triple H. And, I mean, it was going to be a good presentation. Clearly, that was going to be the case. It was going to be a success from the beginning, but I think it did very well. Not as good as the Cruiserweight Classic. Not as good as the Cruiserweight Classic by any means. Cruiserweight Classic was absolutely balls to the wall fantastic, bro. No competing with the Cruiserweight Classic, but I mean, it was up there, and it's certainly going to do good for the future of women's wrestling in the WWE. It's going to make it so we've got an influx of talent all over the place, and there's never going to be a shortage of women's wrestlers in the WWE beyond this point. There was a point in the WWE where you had like 8 women on a roster. Now you have 32 fucking women who are possibly all going to be signed here. So that sounds absolutely great. And I mean, whatever it is, it was going to be a success from the beginning, but I think it did very well beyond expectations. And I mean, I love the tournaments, bro. I absolutely love the tournaments. You gotta continue them because you already see how much of a success these tournaments are for the WWE. The Cruiserweight Classic coming out of that was absolutely fantastic. Let's not fucking remember what WWE is doing right now with the Cruiserweights. Holy shit. But I mean, it is absolutely fantastic what they're doing with these tournaments, UK tournament, all this good stuff. And I mean, it's just gonna benefit the WWE in the long run. And there's nothing I can say but keep on coming, bro. Keep them coming, because for now, this has been Joel Perez of Ringside Wrestling Entertainment. Make sure to go check out all the other content on the Ringside Wrestling YouTube channel. Raw reviews, Smackdown reviews, pay-per-view reviews, NXT TakeOver reviews, behind the mic. If you do not want to miss any of that, make sure to subscribe to the Ringside Wrestling YouTube channel, and of course make sure to click on that notification bell. Like this video if you enjoyed what you heard here, and of course make sure to tell me what you thought in the comments section below of the fucking Mae Young Classic finale, because for now, this has been Joel Perez of Ringside Wrestling Entertainment, and I am out of here. Thank you very, very much for watching this video.